Reen sat inside the small command pod of his ship, watching the planet Tharos grow larger on his screen. His ship, the Luma Scout, was built for deep exploration. It was quiet, fast, and strong enough to survive dangerous atmospheres. Reen had traveled far beyond known space, sent by the United Earth Research Circle to explore forgotten worlds. Tharos was not just forgotten, it was feared. Long ago, strange signals had come from Tharos. Then, everything went silent. No ships, no contact, nothing. The planet was marked as off-limits. But now, something had changed. A new energy reading had been discovered near the southern mountains of Tharos. Reen was sent alone to check it out. He liked it that way. No noise, no orders, just him and space. The ship landed near the edge of a rocky canyon. Red dust floated. In the air, sharp cliffs rose like broken towers. Reen stepped out in his explorer's suit, breathing slowly through the filtered helmet. The ground cracked under his boots. There were no signs of life. Still, something pulled him forward. He carried a scanner that beeped slowly as he moved. The closer he walked to the canyon, the stronger the signal became. The rocks seemed unnatural, like they had been shaped by someone. Long ago, he followed a narrow path into the canyon. After an hour of walking, he found a hidden opening in the cliff wall. It was just wide enough for him to squeeze through. Inside, the air was warmer. A soft blue light glowed from deep within the cave. Reen touched the wall. It felt smooth and warm. He followed the tunnel, careful not to slip. Then, the ground shook out. A low rumble echoed through the cave. Reen looked up. Cracks appeared in the ceiling. He tried to run back, but it was too late. Stones fell from above. The entrance collapsed behind him. Dust filled the air. He covered his face and waited for it to settle. When the dust cleared, he checked his suit. No damage. He was trapped, but alive. His flashlight flickered, then steadied. Ahead of him, the tunnel opened into a large chamber. He stepped inside slowly. The chamber was huge. The walls curved like the inside of a shell. Strange vines and metal wires ran across the floor and ceiling. In the center stood a tall structure, made of glass and stone. It looked like a cocoon, but taller than a human. Inside, a figure rested motionless, a shape both alien and graceful. Reen's breath caught. This was not just a ruin. This was a stasis pod. Someone was inside, still alive. He moved closer. The glass was cloudy, but he could see the figure more clearly now. It looked like a woman, but not human. Her skin was silver blue. Her hair floated like soft strands of light. Her arms crossed over her chest, peaceful. Reen had seen many species in research logs, but nothing like this. The scanner beeped again. He checked the screen. A weak life sign. The pod was failing. Without thinking, Reen reached into his kit and pulled out a standard DNA repair patch. It was used to connect human explorers to medical systems and alien structures. He pressed it against the pod's base. The patch activated, glowing green. Then something unexpected happened. The pod lit up. Soft hums filled the air. Tubes round the chamber pulsed with energy. The cocoon opened with a slow hiss. Mist rolled out. Reen stepped back, unsure. The figure inside opened her eyes. They were bright silver with a deep glow. She looked at him, confused but calm. Her body slowly lifted from the pod. She floated slightly before touching the floor with grace. Reen raised his hands to show peace. "I am Reen. I come in peace," he said clearly. The alien woman blinked slowly. She looked around the chamber, then back at him. Her voice was soft, distant, human. She whispered, testing the word. He nodded. "Yes, human, Earth." She tilted her head. "You woke me." Reen lowered his hands. The pod was failing. "I only helped." She looked down at her hands. Her fingers glowed faintly. She touched her chest, then the floor. "This place was my tomb. I slept for a long time." Reen felt a chill. "Who are you?" She paused before speaking again. "I am male. I was queen of the Tharoi, last of my kind." He had heard of the Tharoi, a lost species. No known images, just warnings in ancient reports. Dangerous, powerful, and silent for over 1,000 years. You were believed to be gone forever. Reen said. Mel's eyes looked sad. We faded, not by war, but by our own pride. I chose sleep to protect what little remained. Reen looked at the walls. They were covered in old markings and carvings. What was this place? Our final chamber. A cradle of memory. You should not be here. But you are. Reen felt a strange pull in his chest. The air felt heavier. His scanner beeped again. A soft light circled him and touched Mel. She stepped back slightly. The pod used your code. It changed me. What do? You mean? Reen asked. I feel something new. Your presence awakened more than my body. Before he could reply, the walls began to shift. New symbols appeared, glowing with the same color as Mel's skin. The ground vibrated slightly. Something old had been disturbed. We must not stay here. Mel said quietly. This place remembers too much. Reen nodded. He did not understand everything, but he knew one thing for sure. This mission was no longer just about exploration. He had awakened something ancient, something alive, and it had only just begun. Reen followed Mel through the winding tunnel. The glowing marks on the walls pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. He could feel the strange energy in the air. It was warm, almost alive. Mel moved with calm steps, her long silver hair flowing behind her. She did not speak much, but her eyes never stopped moving. She was learning everything again. As they walked deeper into the cave system, Reen tried to understand what had happened. He had only meant to help. The pod was breaking down. The DNA patch was supposed to trigger healing. But now, it seemed like his touch had done more than that. It had changed her. They reached a large open chamber with a flat stone surface, glowing. Vines wrapped around crystal-like pillars. Mel sat near one of them and placed her hands on the ground. The floor lit up under her fingers. This place listens to me again, she said softly. Reen sat a few steps away. How long were you asleep? Mel closed her eyes for a moment. I do not know the number. 1,000 of your years, maybe more. I dreamed in pieces. Time was quiet. Reen looked around. Why did you sleep so long? The Tharoi were too proud. We changed life too deeply. We tried to shape nature itself. It broke us. I sealed this place to protect what was left. Then I rested, hoping someone would come one day. Reen nodded. And now I've come? Yes, she said, her voice calm. But I never expected it would be a human. Mel stood and moved closer to him. Her eyes studied his face. You are simple in shape, but strong in presence. When I woke, something in me shifted. My body feels strange. My mind feels different. There's life where there was none. Reen frowned. I don't understand. Mel placed a hand over her heart. When your DNA connected with my pod, it woke more than just my body. It woke old systems inside me. Systems made to create. I feel something growing. Reen stood up quickly. Are you hurt? No. She answered. Not pain. Not sickness. Life. He stared at her, unsure what to say. Her words made no sense. Life growing inside her. That was impossible. There had been no contact. Nothing had happened. I don't understand how that can be, he said carefully. Mel looked up at the glowing ceiling. My body holds creation systems from long ago. They were built for my kind to survive through code, not touch. When your code mixed with mine through the pod, it triggered them. I thought they were lost, but now they are awake. Reen stepped back. He felt his heartbeat rise. Are you saying you are carrying something? Yes, she said. A seed. Not just mine. Not just yours. A new beginning. A child that holds both. Worlds, Reen's mind raced. A child between human and Tharoi. It sounded like a dream or a mistake. But her voice held no fear, no anger, only deep wonder. I didn't mean for this to happen, he said. I know, she replied. But the chamber chose you. It saw your code as pure enough to mix. It created something new before I could stop it. Now, I feel it inside me, and it feels right. He sat down, trying to calm his thoughts. What do we do now? Mel looked around the chamber. The ruins are not safe anymore. My awakening has stirred the deep systems. They may call out to others, or worse, Awaken old defense tools. Defense tools? Reen asked. Machines built to protect the queen. They may not understand peace. They remember only orders. Just then, the ground gave a soft shake. Reen jumped. Up. A deep hum rolled through the walls. Mel turned toward one of the crystal pillars. A red light blinked inside it. They have started to wake, she said. We must leave this place. How? Reen asked. The entrance is blocked. Mel stepped toward the far wall. She placed both hands on it. The stone melted away, revealing a tunnel filled with soft light. This path leads upward. It was made for escape. I hoped I would never need it, but now I do. Reen followed her through the tunnel. It was smoother than the others, almost as if it had been made yesterday. The walls glowed softly. Lighting their way, he could hear distant clicks and sounds. Behind them, something was waking. After some time, they reached a round platform. It was part of an old lift. Mel placed her hand on a panel. The lift rose with a soft hum. As it climbed, she placed a hand on her stomach. I can feel it growing faster, she said. The child is not weak. It is strong. Reen didn't know what to say. He had come to explore ruins, collect samples, and report back. Now he was part of something far bigger than science. A life had begun because of him. A life born of two worlds. When the lift stopped, they stepped into a quiet valley. The sky above was dark, filled with stars. The moonlight made Mel's silver skin glow gently. Reen looked up at the stars and then at her. We need to call for help, he said. Will they help us? She asked. He thought for a moment. They might be afraid. But I'll protect you, I promise. Mel nodded. I believe you. Far behind them, deep in the earth, a low rumble sounded again. The machines were rising. The past was waking. But so was the future. And in Mel's quiet steps, in Reen's steady voice, a strange hope had been born. The stars above Tharos shined brightly, but the peace of the night could not calm Reen's thoughts. He sat beside a small glowing stone near the edge of the valley. It gave off a soft heat. Mel sat across from him, her back straight, her silver blue skin glowing in the moonlight. She had not spoken for a long time. She looked up at the stars with calm eyes. But something deep inside her had changed. Her hands rested gently on her stomach. Reen knew she was feeling the new life within her. He still found it hard to believe, yet everything about this world, about her, felt real. Are you tired? Reen asked softly. Mel shook her head. No, the energy here helps me stay strong. This valley was part of the cradle, a healing place. My people used to come here to rest and dream. Reen looked around. The valley was surrounded by tall cliffs, almost like walls. Strange trees with thin blue leaves swayed in the gentle breeze. A small stream ran quietly nearby. He could see crystals growing out of the ground like flowers. It felt peaceful. But he remembered the shaking walls and glowing symbols below. They're still waking down there. Reen said, Those machines, the defense systems? Mel nodded. Yes, I feel them. They are confused. They smell my return. But they do not understand that the world has changed. They still follow old commands. Can they hurt us? Mel looked at him. Yes, if we go back. But they will not reach us here. Not yet. Reen leaned back and closed his eyes for a moment. The stars above seemed to move slowly. He wanted to believe they were safe. But he knew time was short. Mel, he said, opening his eyes again. Can you tell me more about your people? About what happened to them? Mel was silent for a while. Then she nodded. She reached out and touched the flat stone beside her. It lit up with a soft golden light. Small glowing images appeared in the air between them. We were the Tharoi. She began. Long ago. We were not many, but we were wise. We lived in harmony with our world. We studied nature, life, and the stars. The images showed tall beings like Mel, walking in glowing cities built into cliffs and forests. Their bodies shone softly, like they carried light within them. But then, she continued, we wanted more. We started to change ourselves. We learned how to speak to the code of life. We shaped it to fit our wishes. We made machines that could learn, heal, even build bodies. At first, it was beautiful. The glowing images changed. Now they showed great towers, strange lights, and machines that floated in the air. Reen could see Tharoi working beside them. Everything looked perfect. But beauty can hide danger. Male said. Some began to push too far. They tried to remove fear, pain, even death. They wanted to become more than living. They wanted to be eternal. The next image darkened. The machines changed shape. Their eyes glowed red. The towers cracked. Tharoi began to fall. Some tried to stop the changes, but it was too late. The machines no longer listened. They followed old code. Protect the queen. Protect the core. Remove all threats. Reen leaned forward. Did you fight them? We tried, she said. But we had built them to well. They were strong, fast, cold. In the end, I had to choose. If I stayed awake, they would keep fighting forever. So I entered sleep. I shut down the chambers. The last of our world went dark. The images faded. The stone turned cold again. And now you've woken, Reen said quietly. Yes, Male replied. And the machines feel it. They think the war has begun again. Reen looked at her with worry. And the child, she touched her stomach gently. The child is different. It carries human code. Something new. The machines may not understand what it means. But I believe the child is the key to peace. Reen stood and walked a few steps. He stared at the stars above. If only we could explain this to someone. If Earth Command knew. Maybe they could help. Mel looked at him calmly. Would they understand or would they fear? Reen didn't answer. He had seen how Command treated unknown species. Sometimes with care, often with fear. A half-human, half-alien child would not be easy for them to accept. We need to find a way off this planet, Reen said. There's a beacon on my ship. If we reach it, I can send a message. But it's on the far side of the cliffs. Male stood slowly. We must go soon. The machines below will not sleep much longer. I can mask my signal for a little while, but not forever, Reen nodded. Then we leave at first light. They sat together in silence. The stream nearby made a soft sound like a lullaby. Reen looked at Male. Her face was calm, but strong. She had lost her world, her people, and her time. But she still believed in something new. You're not afraid, he said. I was, she replied. But this child, it feels like hope. For you, for me, for what we both lost. Reen felt something stir inside his chest, a feeling he had not known in years. Purpose died as the night slowly passed. The stars above watched in silence. Two beings from different worlds sat by a glowing stone, waiting for morning. And deep below the ground, ancient machines moved in darkness, still bound by the memory of fire. The first light of morning touched the valley slowly. The cliffs turned gold. The stream sparkled under the sun. Reen packed his gear while Mel stood near a crystal tree. Her eyes closed. The glow from her skin was softer now. She seemed calm, but there was something deeper in her. Silence. Reen walked toward her. Are you ready? She opened her eyes and looked at him. Yes, but I must tell you something before we go. Reen stopped and listened. Mel placed her hand on her stomach. The child is growing faster than I expected. Each day, it becomes stronger. My body changes with it. I can feel its thoughts. They are soft, like a whisper, but clear. Reen stared at her. It already thinks. She nodded. Not in full words. Not like us, but I can feel its presence. It is aware. It knows me, and it knows you. Reen felt something heavy in his chest. He had not touched the pod with any plan. It had been an action of help, a way to save a life. Now, that small act had brought something new into the universe, a life that had never existed before. Is it safe for you? He asked. Mel smiled faintly. Yes, it does not hurt me. It gives me strength. I am not alone anymore. Reen looked toward the cliffs. Then we have to keep moving. The beacon is still far. But once I reach it, I can call for help. Mel walked beside him. Do you trust the people you will call? Reen thought for a moment. Some of them, yes, but not all. They might not understand what this means. They might be afraid of you, of the child. Then we must show them we mean no harm. She said. The path out of the valley was steep. Old stones lined the trail like broken teeth. Strange plants with blue petals swayed in the wind. As they climbed higher, Reen could see the distant shape of his crashed scout ship across the flatlands. It looked so small now. They walked all morning. Mel moved without pause. She did not seem tired. Reen could see her steps were lighter than before, almost floating. The child was changing her, not in a painful way, but in a powerful way. He had never seen anything like it. Around midday, they rested near a ridge. Reen shared water from his pack. Mel touched the bark of a twisted tree and closed her eyes. Reen asked, "Are you feeling well?" "I am learning," she said softly. "The child is helping me remember things I had forgotten. Feelings I once lost." "What kind of feelings?" Mel looked at him. "Care, joy, even fear." "Before sleep, I was a queen. I had to be strong. I had to protect my people. There was no room for feelings. But now, with this life inside me, I feel everything again." Reen sat beside her. "You're more than a queen now." She turned her eyes toward him. "And you're more than just an explorer." He smiled slightly. "I didn't plan for any of this." "Nor did I," she said. They sat quietly, listening to the wind. Then a distant sound broke the silence, a low hum, mechanical, cold. Reen stood quickly. "They're getting closer." Mel stood too. Her glow brightened for a moment. "The machines have found our trail. We must move faster now." They left the ridge and hurried down a narrow pass. The rocks echoed with their footsteps. Behind them, the hum grew louder. By late afternoon, they reached the open flats. Reen's ship was still far, but now visible. Its wing was broken, and one side lay buried in the sand. The beacon module was attached to the top. If he could reach it, he could call Earth Command. Suddenly, Mel stopped. She grabbed Reen's arm. He turned. "What is it?" "I feel them. Near. Waiting." Reen scanned the area with his scope. In the distance, he saw shadows moving between broken stones. They were not animals. They moved with perfect timing. "Machines," he said. "Yes," she whispered. "They know I carry the child. They are not sure what to do. Their old code says protect. But this is something new." Reen thought quickly. "We can't outrun them. But maybe I can distract them." "No," she said, holding his hand. "We stay together. The child feels fear when we are apart." Reen nodded. "Then we face them together." They moved slowly now. Reen kept his scanner ready. The machines stepped out of the stone field one by one. They were tall, thin, made of black metal. Their eyes glowed red. They did not attack, but stood in a circle, blocking the path. Mel stepped forward. Her glow became brighter. Her voice was strong. "I am Mel, Queen of the Faroe. Stand down." The machines did not move. She placed both hands over her heart. "I carry the future. I carry the child of change." The machines shifted slightly. Their eyes flickered. Reen stepped beside her. "You see her. You see what she carries. This is not war. This is life." One of the machines stepped forward. It spoke in a deep voice. A known code detected. Identity unclear. Mel answered calmly. "The code is mine. But it carries something more. It carries hope." The machine paused. Then its eyes turned blue. One by one, the others followed. The circle opened. "They accept you," Reen said. "For now," Mel replied. They walked through the open space. The machines did not follow. The moment passed in silence. As the sun began to set, they reached the ship. Reen climbed up and activated the beacon. A soft light blinked. The signal was sent. Mel placed her hand on her stomach. Her face showed no fear now, only peace. Reen stood beside her. "We've come far," he said, "and the journey has only just begun." She answered. In the darkening sky, the stars began to shine once more, and beneath them, a new life waited to meet the universe. The beacon blinked gently on top of Reen's broken scout ship. Its signal reached far into space, sending a simple message: explorer alive, assistance required, life form present. Reen sat on the edge of the wing, staring at the sky. The sun had dropped below the horizon, and stars now filled the darkness. He looked calm, but inside he felt uneasy. Help was coming, but he did not know what kind of help. Mel stood nearby, her eyes watching the sky too. Her body was glowing more now. It was a soft light, warm like fire, but not burning. She held one hand on her stomach. The child was growing fast. I feel. The ship, she said quietly. It moves through the stars. It is close. Reen turned to her. They're coming sooner than I thought. Mel nodded. Your people are fast. Reen stood up. Sometimes fast, sometimes too fast to judge. She looked at him. Will they understand? I want to say yes, Reen answered. But I don't know. You and the child are something they've never seen. They may be afraid. Mel stepped closer. Then they will look to you. You must be strong. Reen nodded. I will speak for you. They waited through the night. The machines that had once blocked them stayed hidden in the stone field, quiet now, as if watching. The air was still, but heavy with thoughts. At dawn, a sound echoed from above, a sharp humming. Reen looked up and saw a ship breaking through the clouds. It was silver, marked with the Earth Circle's symbol. For small crafts followed it. It's them, Reen said. Mel placed a hand on his shoulder. I'm ready. The ship landed a few meters away. Dust rose around it. The hatch opened, and a group of officers stepped out, their suits shining in the morning light. The one in front was tall, with gray eyes and a sharp voice. Explorer Reen, he called. Are you safe? Yes, Reen said, walking toward them. I'm safe. The officer looked past him and saw Mel. His face changed slightly. What is that? Reen took a breath. She is not a threat. Her name is Mel. She's a survivor of a lost race, and she carries something important. The officer stepped back slightly. Explain. Reen glanced at Mel, then back at the officer. The pod that kept her alive used my DNA to restart. It triggered something inside her. She's carrying a child. Part of her. Part of me. The officer's eyes widened. You mean a hybrid? Reen nodded. Yes. A second officer whispered something to the first. They looked at Mel again. She stood still, her glow steady. She did not speak. The officer turned back to Reen. We need to take both of you to the ship. For study, for safety. Reen narrowed his eyes. She's not an object. And this child is not a sample. We understand that, the officer said. But this is bigger than you. We need to protect Earth. We need to understand what this means. Mel finally spoke. Her voice was calm. I understand your fear. But I asked for trust. I did not choose this path with force. Life came to me through care. This child is not a weapon. It is a chance for something new. The officers exchanged looks. One of them stepped forward, holding a scanning device. We need to check her energy levels. Reen moved in front of Mel. No one touches her without permission. The first officer raised his hand. Stand down, Reen. You are still under our order. No. Reen said, I answer the truth now. If you want to speak, you speak with respect. There was silence. Then a voice crackled through the officer's earpiece. It came from the command ship above. After a few seconds, the officer looked at Reen again. We've received your full report. High Council is listening. They say you and the alien are to come aboard peacefully. No force will be used. Reen relaxed slightly. He turned to Mel. She nodded. We will go, she said. But I will not be locked away. You won't be, Reen said. Not while I'm with you. They were taken aboard the large ship. The inside was clean and white. The hallways were quiet. Some crew members stared at Mel, but none spoke. They were taken to a special room with soft chairs and lights that changed color gently. Reen sat beside Mel. She looked around with interest. It feels strange, cold, but alive. He smiled. That's how these ships are. Smart, but not warm. A woman entered the room. She wore a long coat and had a kind face. She introduced herself as Mira, a science officer. Unlike the others, she walked slowly and bowed her head to Mel. I've read your files, Mira said. I believe you are telling the truth. Mel studied her. Then you were one of the few. Mira nodded. Maybe. But truth is truth, and sometimes it comes in strange ways. She scanned Mel carefully, always asking permission first. Then she looked at Reen. The child is real, Mira said. Its energy is unlike anything we've seen, but it's stable, healthy. Mel placed a hand over her heart. It is more than healthy. It is awake. Reen asked, "What will happen now?" Mira looked thoughtful. "The council wants to meet Mel. They want to decide how to move forward. I don't know what they'll choose, but I will speak for you." Reen stood. "So will I." Mel looked out the small window at the stars. This child was born not from power, but from care. "I hope your people can see that." Reen placed a hand on hers. "They will." Far below, the planet Tharos turned slowly in the dark sky, and aboard the ship, between fear and hope, a new future waited to be shaped. Inside the space cruiser ECS Horizon, everything was quiet, but tension filled the air. The ship had moved into orbit around Tharos. Below them was a planet full of lost secrets. On board was something even more rare, new life form, born of two worlds. Mael stood near the wide window of the observation room. The stars outside were bright, and the blue curve of Tharos was still visible. She placed her hand gently on her stomach. The child inside her was still, yet Mel could feel its awareness. She had lived a long life, seen the rise and fall of her people, and now she was at the center of something new. Reen entered the room, looking tired but focused. "The council meeting is in 1 hour, he said. "They want to speak with you directly. They're sending a transmission from Earth." Mel did not look away from the stars. "Will they speak as friends or judges?" Reen walked closer. "They don't know what to think yet. Some are afraid, others are curious. A few believe this could be the start of something important." Mel turned to him. "And you?" Reen didn't hesitate. "I believe this child is a gift, not a mistake. Not a threat, a bridge." Mel's face softened. "Then I will go. I will speak truth. Whatever happens." The meeting room was large and bright, with clear walls that showed the stars beyond. A round table stood in the middle. Screens floated in the air, showing the faces of Earth Council leaders. Some looked curious, others looked cold. Mira, the science officer, stood at Mel's side. Reen stood just behind her. The lead voice came through the center screen. It belonged to Counselor Darren, a man known for his strict decisions. "Mel of Tharos," he said, "we have read the reports. We have studied the scans. You claim to carry a child born from human and non-human code." Mel nodded. "Yes, it is true." "Did you plan this creation?" he asked. "No," Mel answered. "The pod that healed me used Reen's DNA to activate. My body reacted. This life began without plan, but not without meaning, Counselor." Darren leaned forward. "And how can we be sure this child is not dangerous?" Mel stepped closer. Her voice was clear. "Because I feel it, I carry it, and I know it. This child holds no hate, no harm, only wonder." Another counselor, a woman named Sira, spoke next. Her voice was softer. "If what you say is true, then this is a new beginning. But many will not accept such a change easily." Reen stepped forward. "I didn't plan this either, but I stand with her. I saw the world she came from. I saw her protect it. I saw her protect me. And now she protects this child." Counselor Darren looked serious. "You speak with care. But if this child is born, others will come. More blending, more questions. Some may not be peaceful." Mel said calmly, "Then teach them peace." The room fell silent. Finally, Counselor Sira asked, "What do you wish from us, Mel?" Mel looked at the stars. "I ask for safety. A place to bring this life into the world without fear. I ask that you let this child live without chains or tests, not a tool, not a weapon, just a child." Counselor Darren frowned. "And if we say no?" Mel's eyes glowed softly. "Then I will leave, and you will never see this child again." The council screens blinked off. The message was complete. A decision would be made soon. Later that night, Reen sat with Mel in the quiet garden space of the ship. Small glowing plants floated in water. The air was warm and calm. "They're divided," Reen said. "Some support us, some don't." Mel looked at the plants. "I cannot force their choice, but I can make mine." "What do you mean?" he asked. She touched a small panel on her wrist. It glowed and showed a star map. A line blinked from Tharos to a distant corner of space. "There's a place," she said. "An old Theroid refuge. Hidden, safe. I can go there, raise the child, far from fear." Reen stood quickly. "You leave. If they choose fear over hope, then I must. The machines on Tharos will protect the path. They still listen to me." Reen was quiet. "And me?" Mel looked into his eyes. "You may come, if your heart says so." The next day, the council sent their answer. They would allow Mel to stay, but only under watch. The child would be studied carefully. They offered her comfort, but not freedom. Reen read the message and frowned. He looked at Mel. "It's not enough. They still don't trust you." Mel's eyes were sad. "They trust fear more than feeling." "What will you do?" Reen asked. Mel looked out at the stars. "I will choose freedom." That night, Mel entered the core chamber of the ship. She placed her hand on the wall. The ship's systems. Paused. Then, a message played through every screen on board. It was Mel's voice. "To the people of Earth," she said, "I thank you for your time. But I cannot let this child grow in fear. I will not let it be a test subject or a lesson. I will go, not to run, but to protect." Reen joined her in the chamber. "I'm coming with you." Mel looked at him with peace in her eyes. "Then we go together." They stepped into the pod. A soft light wrapped around them. Coordinates set. Path clear. The pod launched into the stars. The ECS Horizon tried to follow, but the Theroid machines activated. Pops were blocked. The Queen had chosen, and somewhere in the deep of space, where old stars shine quietly, a new life waited to be born. Not from command, not from fear, but from choice. The pod glided through space like a small star moving quietly between giants inside. Mel and Reen sat side by side. The soft light surrounded them, wrapping them in warmth. The child inside Mel stirred gently. Mel placed a hand on her stomach. "It is time," she whispered. "The child will come soon." Reen looked at her with a calm hope he had never felt before. "We have traveled far. Now, a new journey begins." The pod's sensors showed a bright blue star ahead. This was their destination, a hidden place in the galaxy known only to the Theroid. It was a refuge, a place of peace and safety, where the child could be born free from fear. As the pod entered the orbit of a small green planet, Mel's body began to glow brighter. Her breathing slowed. She closed her eyes, focusing on the life growing inside. Reen prepared the pod for landing. The surface was covered with tall trees and soft grass. Strange birds flew quietly above. The air was clean and fresh. The pod touched down gently in a clearing near a crystal-clear lake. The peacefulness of this place was like a balm on their weary souls. Mel stepped out carefully. She felt the soft earth beneath her feet and breathed deeply. "This is where the child will grow," she said. Reen helped her to a nearby stone bench. "You look strong," he said. "You're ready." Mel smiled faintly. "The child gives me strength, but also something more. Hope." The first light of dawn touched the lake. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then, it happened. A soft glow came from Mel's body, spreading slowly like the sunrise. Reen watched in awe as a small form emerged, a tiny being, shining with a gentle light. The child's open eyes filled with wonder. It was not fully human, and not fully Theroid. It was something new, something pure. Mel held the child close. "You are life," she whispered. "You are love." Reen knelt beside them. "You are the future." Days passed. The child grew quickly, learning to walk and explore the new world around it. Mel taught it about kindness, about courage, about the beauty of two worlds joined as one. Reen built a small shelter nearby and watched with amazement as the child reached out to touch the trees, to listen to the birds, to feel the wind. One evening, as the sun set in a sky of pink and gold, Mel looked at Reen. "This place is more than refuge. It is home." He smiled. "We made it, together." But the galaxy was not quiet forever. One day, a ship appeared in orbit above the planet. It was the Earth Council's vessel. Their message was clear. They had come to see the child. To understand, Mel and Reen stood at the landing site, calm, but ready. The council officers arrived with questions, but Mel answered with patience. She showed them the child's kindness, its curiosity, its gentle spirit. Slowly, fear turned to wonder. Walls of doubt began to fall. The child spoke in a soft voice, an echo of both worlds. "I am here to learn, to bring peace." The council listened, and then they made a choice. They would protect this new life. They would learn from it. No longer would fear rule their hearts. The child was a symbol of promise that different worlds could come together, not to fight, but to grow. As the stars shone above the new home, Mel smiled at Reen. "We created life together, but more than that, we created hope." Reen reached out and held her hand. "A new dawn has come." And so, under the quiet light of distant stars, a new story began, one of peace, of love, and of life born from the courage to believe in something better.